Newsfirst, Newsline
live.
Faraz
This
Shauketaly.
evening we are live from Independence Square in Colombo, and the crowds have gone completely nuts, berserk if you like, as you can hear from the back of me. Let me find out why they're here. So, why are you here today?
These guys have destroyed the country. They've destroyed the economy. They're just ruining us. We have nothing to do. We have no money. We have no fuel, no electricity, no gas, nothing. We cannot work. We cannot live. It's just utterly disappointing right now, the situation of the country.
And ma'am, why are you here today?
What I'm here for right now is that they need to be held accountable for everything, not just go home, but they need to be accountable. Held accountable for the mess they put this country into.
Would you like to see them face a court of law?
Yeah, they definitely should face something. They need to be held accountable for the millions which has been taken away from this country. I think they really need to be held accountable for all what they've done.
Thank you very much. And sir, would you say that the public wants the Rajapaksas out fully?
Definitely. There's no question about that. We want them out. We want them held accountable for all of this.
What do you do? Do you work?
Yeah, I work. I'm an engineer.
And how disappointed are you?
Extremely disappointed. You can see on the roads the entire day. We quit. I mean, we took a day off from the work. We want an end to this. We want them accountable. There's no point in just,
Thank you. Sir, can I ask you, what are you doing here? Why aren't you at home watching TV?
For a change, for a country change, people have to act right. As a public, we have the responsibility to take up and act for the country, right? So we saw our country go to drain. They said that's why we are here.
Does it make you sad you're at Independence Square? You're at Independence Square.
It's not about independence, it's about where we are right now.
The sounds are absolutely, can they hear me? You messed with the wrong generation. Let's find out. Let's find out why they're here. Ma'am, can you tell me why you're here? Excuse me, ma'am. Can you tell me why you're here?
Because we don't recommend this and we ask them to go home.
Do you think they'll go home?
Yeah, they should.
Are you happy with the cabinet changes?
No, not at all.
Do you think it's just a whitewash?
Yeah, obviously.
Thank you. Can you tell me why you're here, sir?
I'm here because of my country. I want my country back. I want all the Rajapaksas to fuck off from this country.
Oops. No profanity, but you are here at Independence Square. Does it make you terribly sad that you have to come to Independence Square to regain your independence?
Obviously, it does. We are supposed to stay home and do our shit. We are supposed to stay home and do our things, yeah? But then again, we all are here. We didn't go to work. We didn't study. We are here. We are wasting our time. Just because this family, we want them to go back. We want our money back. We want them to get off from here.
You want them to go home to Medamulina or to the United States?
Out of this earth. I don't want to even see their face again. We want our money back and then tell you to go off.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to Newsline Live on TV1. Madam, why are you here? Why aren't you at home having a bath and watching TV?
I cannot have a bath when my people are suffering, when there is no gas, there is no electricity, and there is no milk powder for children. How can I sit at home and relax while my people are suffering? I stand for my people.
And the president has announced a new cabinet. sort of a little interim. Are you happy with that?
No, absolutely not. It's an absolute mockery. Ali Sabri, I have nothing against him, but how can a lawyer be a minister of finance? Like I said before to one of my friends, how can a brain surgeon be the minister of Buddha Sasana and cultural affairs? Or like, no, that's absurd. You got to get learned people like probably Mr. Dhammika Pereira and like financial people right now. It's not politicians who we need right now in the government. We need a good board of learned people. That's
and ma'am, you say that Ali Sabri is a lawyer, but he's appointed to finance.
Yeah.
But can I remind you that Mr. Mangala Samaravira was a dress designer, but he was one of the most successful finance ministers we had.
Okay, I was a bit young then, so I have no comment on that because I can't.
Sir, would you like to say something? Why are you here? Tell me why you're here.
Why I'm here, apart from telling the Rajapaksas to go home, is I'm here to show the world this country has no ethnic conflict. The conflict we have is with the government. The people of Sri Lanka, whether we're Muslim, Tamil, Sinhala, Christian, Hindu, we are all one. We are all standing here as brothers and sisters, arm in arm, fighting for our nation. That is why I'm here.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Are you retired? Do you work?
I do. I'm a businessman, but I used to be in the same business as you, and I started in this company with Mr. Kili Raja Mahendran.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. And board over there says freeze Rajapaksa's money. Sir, do you believe that there is Rajapaksa money somewhere?
I have no idea, but still they have a lot of wealth more than the general public has. Because the general public, when you look at the people who go through the sea, fishermen, they daily they have the need of their diesel, but they have to stay on the queues, and it's so hard for their daily needs. But still, the people who are in the top positions, who control the country, who rule the country, have a lot of wealth that cannot be said according to the income based on the parliament they get. But still, we could clearly see that a lot of wealth.
So what you're saying is there's a disparity in the wealth?
Yeah, a lot of disparity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for being on Newsline Live. And as we go around Newsline Live, let's find out whether... Good evening, sir. This is Newsline Live TV1. Can you tell me why you're here stuck in a traffic jam?
I'm actually showing my gratitude towards Sri Lanka because we need a good politician at the moment.
Would you rather see this government stand down and a new government elected by the people again, afresh?
I think that would be the best at the moment because people are suffering at the moment. That's why we are here.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being on Newsline Live on TV1. And we are broadcasting from Independence Square right here in Colombo. The traffic, they brought the dogs along too. So why are you here today? Can you tell me in Sinhalese or in English?
Single.
Okay. Sinhala කියන්නේ ඇයි ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ මේක?
මේ ඇල්ලෙන අපි රට බේර ගන්න. රට බේර ගන්න ඇවිල්ලා.
Thank you. Sir, what are you doing here today? Why are you here?
I am going to my boarding place.
And does this inconvenience you?
Sorry? Can you Sinhala?
Sinhalen කියන්න මේ තත්ත්වය හොඳයිද?
මේ තත්ත්වය මේ රට තත්ත්වයට පත් වෙලා තියෙන තත්ත්වෙත් එක්ක මේක වෙන්න ඕනේ. රට අගාධයට ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. මිනිස්සු මෙහෙම නැත්තම් තවත් රට බලපල්ලට යනවා. මුන් රට කනවා ඇත්තට කියනවා. මේ තත්ත්වය මෙහෙම මේ පත් වෙන්න ඕනේ. මේ යන විදියට. ඇත්තට.
This is Newsline TV1. The crowds want to be heard. So here we go. Sir, why are you here? Ayuwa metenta avilla tinni.
Want to go to home.
Tear gas fired at protesters to protect MPs and ministers. Protests continue in several areas. Artists take to the streets against the government. Sri Lankans stage protests overseas. 4 ministers reappointed hours after resigning.
And live TV 1. Here we go. We've got a set of ladies here. Madam, why are you here?
Because our... Hold for a second.
Tell me why you're here.
Well, we are here because... hello? Yeah. Actually, the situation is going very bad. Even our minister... Actually...
You're distressed by the conditions?
Yes, I'm very much stressed, and nowadays, difficult to survive in this country. People want to go out of the country.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for Newsline live from Independence Square. Sir, why are you here? What's your message?
I'm here for our country. We want a better country. We want to send everyone home. All the looters. Better future and a better country. That's all we need. We need better leadership.
Who did you vote the last time?
That is very confidential.
Would you make the same mistake again?
No chance, never. We have never made mistakes. We will never make it.
You won't make a mistake again. Sir, thank you. Go home safely. What about you? Who are you going to vote next time?
Everyone is useless. We need some new leaders. We need the younger generation to step up,
Who's the next leader?
We need somebody better. We need somebody who's not a hora.
Mr. Sajid Premadasa?
Sajid Premadasa, if he can do a good job, then yeah, props to him. But otherwise, tell him to step back as well.
Educated people.
Otherwise, he'll be the same problem. Thank you. Hello there.
A better future. He screwed our future up. Our lives are at stake. Return our money back. We need our money back. Don't you feel sorry for the innocent people? Return our money back, Gota, or let's go home. Vanish. Thank you. Bye.
We need a good country for our children, a better country for our children. Please save our country, please. And let them go home and save our country.
Thank you very much for being on Newsline live on TV1. And how about you? Why are you here?
I'm here because it's my generation that's getting ruined. So I'm here today to protest against this shit country. Shit president.
And this is Newsline live on TV1. The crowds at Independence Square is absolutely incredible. Let's see if this gentleman wants to say a few words. Sir, good evening. This is Newsline live on TV1.
Yes.
Tell me, why are you here stuck in traffic?
Because it matters to us. It's our country. It matters to us. Because now the whole government they are rogues. They are taking our money. So we have to stand by for that.
Are you happy with the cabinet change?
Not at all. It's a complete bullshit what they are doing. It's complete bullshit. It's reshuffle is complete bullshit. They are trying to fool the people. It's complete bullshit.
And you think it's a whitewash, the new cabinet?
Exactly, spot on. It's a complete whitewash. They're trying to fool the people. We won't fall for it again.
What will make it better, sir?
I'm sorry?
What will make life better?
I mean, all these 225 have to go off. Neither Gota will work, neither Mahinda will work, neither will work. None of them will work.
And do you think we should go for elections? Is that what you're saying?
We have to go for election with a fresh candidate, with a fresh team, with a qualified team who can develop this country.
Thank you very much for your time on Newsline Live on TV1. Let's have a look here. Sir, you speak English?
Yes, yes.
Can you tell me why are you here?
I'm here because the Rajapaksas have looted this country enough for generations. Now we have to chase them off and we have to get back our money back and we have to rebuild this country.
And you don't want to leave this country?
No, I don't want to leave this country. I work in the IT industry. So, I want to stay here and I want this country back. We need all the corrupted politicians to leave and let's build this country.
Thank you very much for being on Newsline Live on TV1. We're broadcasting live from Independence Square. Sir, a few words. This is Newsline Live on TV1. Why are you here?
Go home.
You want to send Gota home? Sir, let's have a future that we deserve. Hi, why are you here, ma'am?
Because we want the bloody people and the politicians to get out, literally get out.
You want a new government?
Yeah, we want a new government that should be youth, not the old people. We want educated people in this government.
So you want the CS to go home?
Yes, they have to go home. The 225 seats should get out, literally get out. That's what we are here.
Thank you very much for being on Newsline Live on TV1. The sentiment is absolutely astounding. The people are all as one. There appears to be no communal divide here or anything of the sort. The people who are speaking English, Sinhalese, Tamil, they're all here. And they're all here as one. Let's go here. This is Newsline TV1. Why are you here, sir?
To protest against this wrongful and robbing.
Highly corrupted.
I'm looking for adjectives.
Government. Do you work?
Yes.
And what has this government done to your paycheck?
Oh, it has brought it down to the ground.
And the cost of living?
Cost of living, basically, if you're earning in rupees today, you can't live. It's simple as that.
Right. Thank you. And what about you, sir? What do you have to say?
Well, I have to say, this is our land, this is our motherland. Leave it for the future, leave it for us, leave it for all the generations to come. Let the right people rule. Let the right people make a country for us. Please go home. If you can't, go home.
You have messed it enough, please go home. There's nothing more to mess.
Thank you for being on Newsline Live on TV1. Thank you. As you can see, the crowds are absolutely chock-a-block here. The Independence Square has probably not been full as this since Independence Day back in February. Good evening, this is TV1. Can you tell me why you're here, please?
We are here because we want Gota to go home.
Thank you very much. The sentiment, the public want to be heard. Thank you. You want to say a few words, sir? Why are you here?
I guess enough is enough. No, we've been suffering and like everyone else is having a gala time. I think everyone needs to stand up. It doesn't matter which race, which religion, which caste you are in. But I think this is quite important for every one of us because it's our future. These guys have done everything for the past, I don't know how many years, and we are suffering. and this is our time. And we are not going to back off. We are going to fight. We are going to fight till the end.
And you're going to stay in Sri Lanka?
Definitely.
Because it's our country?
Because it's our country, it's our future. Forget about us. Imagine for the children. The children who are coming up right now, they don't have a future here. If we also leave, there's no one going to be here. So we're not going to leave, definitely. We're going to stay.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being on Newsline live on TV1. And here we go. Hello there. Tell me, sir, why are you here? What are you doing here?
Faraz, can you believe this is the first time in my life I'm actually protesting. First ever time in my life. I've never been to a protest, but now I have my wife with me and I have my 2 daughters with me. We are minorities in this country. We've been treated badly.
But now, today, I don't see any minority, majority difference.
We are all Sri Lankans, right? But as minorities, we felt it all this while. This has to change. First time ever. I have never done this. You can see my wife has prepared posters. We can't live here any longer like this. This change has to take place.
Thank you very much. And do you believe that protests like this will make a change?
If we don't protest, they'll not know that we are protesting. We have to do this and make the change.
Tell me, who asked you to come here? Did you come on your own or did...
Of course, it was me and my wife. My wife pushed me more than myself. And my daughter was here ahead of us. And finally, all 4 of us are here today because we have to make a change. If we sit back at home, nothing's going to happen. They'll think that we are happy, but we are not.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Ma'am, you want to say a few words?
These are my daughters. Say something.
Tell me, what makes a young person like you come here?
She's only 21.
I don't want to do this.
Okay, well, she shoot camera shy, but thank you very much. Look at this crowd. It's absolutely incredible. Sir, do you speak English, Sinhalese? You want to speak? You want to say something, Sinhalese? Tamil? Thank you. And some people don't want to talk, but that's understandable, I suppose. Let's see if we get somebody else here. The crowds are absolutely amazing. What does this board say, Jayamal?
Paula Pannala Aul Visadamu. Let's chase them off and resolve all of the issues in the country.
Hashtag go home Gota. Sir, do you want to tell me why you're standing in a queue here and protesting? Why?
I voted for Gota. I am here to correct my mistake. That's all I have to say.
So you're doing your penance, are you?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you for being on Newsline Live on TV1. Thank you. What does this say?
They're asking Daniela Miriskudu Prasannalai Parliament Vinasa Karapu Podu Depal Walata who will be responsible for all of the property in Parliament they damaged?
Well, we don't want a leadership that gives excuses and passes the ball to the previous government. That's not leadership. That's just giving us excuses, because for 74 years, all the politicians of this country have been passing the ball to the previous governments. That's not what we want. We want a leader that's not going to give us any excuses. And apart from that, apart from the Rajapaksa family that's destroyed this country, I want to talk about their henchmen as well. Like in these two boards, what we're trying to say is that I've got one request for Mr. Kehelia Rambukwella, because he took the press conference for a joke. And he said that we should inquire about the gas problem from his wife. So why doesn't he bring his wife next time to the press conference? He should, right? And also Mr. Dilu Mamunugama, he said that, like, we are being extremists for behaving this way. Like, I've got a question for him. If we are being extremists, what does he have to say about when the ministers and the members of parliament played havoc in the parliament, like Mr. Johnston Fernando and Miriskudu Prasanna Ranavira? What about, they've been wetting the speaker's seat, they've been breaking chairs. Those are Podu Rajadepala as well. So what about that? What are they call that? Isn't that terrorism then, according to his definition?
Thank you very much for your time on Newsline Live on TV1. Let's go further down here. Let's see here. Save Sri Lanka Hashtag Go Home Gota. Are you shy? Do you want to tell me something? Why are you here?
We are here because we need a solution, right? Because there is so much problems here, right? Yeah, that's what.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. Let's have a look. Let's see. There are lots of young people here as well. Sir, why are you here today?
I'm here to make a change. We want a change for this country. We got independence from one monarchy, and we don't want the next monarchy to rule us. We want them out. We want all of these thieves out. They can't keep doing this to our country. They can't keep stealing our money. We want all these thieves out.
Do you sometimes think you might want to leave the country?
Yes.
But are you going to leave, or are you going to stay and fight it out?
I'm going to stay and fight this out. We want this change. We as people of this nation need to stay on, fight it out, and let these thieves be rid of their positions.
Thank you very much for being on Newsline Live on TV1. And let's have a look here. Look, sir, let me have a look at your board. Before you go home, return what's ours. $. Hashtag Go Home Gota. Sir, you don't want to tell me why you're standing here holding a board?
Because we need a country to live, and this is our country. They can leave the country. 225 plus 1 can get out of here.
That's as simple as that, right?
Exactly. We need our country back.
Does it make you sad that you're standing here in Independence Square in Colombo 74 years after independence,
yes,
and you're forced to protest?
Definitely, yes. And finally, we are all together. We are here together. We got an opportunity to be together. So we are fighting all together.
Thank you, sir. And one more here. Look, why are you here, sir, today? Why are you here?
I'm here to support the crowd because we need this country to progress. And for the last 3-4 years, we never saw this country progressing. It's pretty pathetic. If you look at it, you know, we call this Taruna Asahane. This is the crowd that they should be. See, we are leaving this country for them. And if they don't have a country, I don't say anything. There's no reason that we should be living in this country. Everybody wants to leave this country. It doesn't make sense. So either we join them or we leave them. So, but then the guys who are running this country, they're not doing it properly. And everyone is corrupted. So I'm not particularly I'm telling a name, but everyone is corrupted. Simple as that.
So you want a wholesale change?
Sorry?
You want a wholesale change?
We need a wholesale change. Otherwise, these guys will not have a future.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And let's have a look. Don't let them run. Justice will be done. Sir, why are you here this evening?
Well, this has been going on for too long, right? It's been happening since I was small. We have been talking about the corruption of politicians. So it's finally nice to see that we are all making a stand, and I think it has been long overdue. And
Do you believe that Sri Lanka is united in this approach?
Most definitely, yes, more than it has ever been before since our recent past. So yeah.
Thank you very much for being on Newsline Live on TV1. And from Independence Square, where you can see that the public sentiment is very much for change. Surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people from around Colombo today. The roads were full, quite ordinary people protesting and signaling their complete distrust in this government. On that note, it's now time for the primetime news from News First. And from Independence Square, this is Newsline Live for TV1.
TV1 රැස්විහිදෙන ජීවිතේ
ජනතාව සමග with the people.
மக்களுடன் ජනතාව සමග with the people.
With the people. News First with the people.
Good evening and welcome to your news on TV1. You're watching News First, where the people come first. It's been an eventful day and we have all the details right here. But first, let's take a look at your headlines.
News First headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance, best finance company.
President calls for a meeting with government parties. 4 ministers reappointed hours after resignation. Johnston Fernandez says there is no need to resign from his ministerial position.
69 ලක්ෂයක් ඡන්දෙ දීලා ඒ 69 ලක්ෂයෙන් එතුමා ඉල්ලලා අස්සෙන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
Tear gas fired at protesters to prevent attacks on houses of ministers. People staged protests demanding resignations of president and ministers. Army commander meets defense advisors at foreign missions. Chief prelates call on president to avoid suppressing peaceful protests by the people.
News First headlines. Main sponsor.
Valuable Finance, best finance company.
Demonstrations were held in many areas surrounding Colombo today. We begin our coverage with a protest march that was held from the Nelumpokuna Theatre to the Independence Square in Colombo this evening. Let's now take a look at the demonstration that was organized near the Nelumpokuna Theatre this afternoon.
As the public of Sri Lanka, we are sick and tired of this sick Rajapaksa regime. We need to be free. We need our country. We need to leave a generation. We need to leave a country for a generation. For that, all these dirty politicians should leave the country.
Please go home, please. We are done with you. We are youngsters. We can rule the show. Don't give it to these people. Please go home, please.
Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you ashamed? Can't you see the crowd? It's the best crowd in Sri Lanka. Go home. Enough is enough.
We must say thank you for one thing, President Rajapaksa. You unified the state. You came into power by dividing our country, but you finally unified all 22 million people as one. Thank you for that. Now time to go.
So very disappointed, and we love our country and we want our country back. We should be united and let's fight against these rogues, Rajapaksas.
people have a right to protest constitutionally, socially. We have our civic rights. It's a non-violent, peaceful protest, and I think the people here have spoken as a collective conscience. There's nothing else to say. The evidence is here. Just look around.
Burdened by the worst economic situation the country has ever faced, the people of Sri Lanka have now taken to the streets. Right now I'm here in Colombo opposite the Nelum Theatre, where a people's protest is currently being staged. Now these people are not affiliated to any political party and they are not driven by politics. They are just simply innocent people just like you and I who have come here today to the streets to express their genuine frustration. They have only one basic request, that is to save their country from this situation. For the News First team, I'm Naveksha Gunasekara reporting to you from Colombo.
Demonstrations were held at the Independence Square in Colombo since this morning. Let's now move on to a protest that was held opposite the Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo.
We've had enough. You can see. We've come to a point we've had enough and people need answers. And the only way out is for 225, including the President and the Prime Minister, to resign. Please, that's the only favor that they can do for the country. First time ever in history. Public has come together. So, one thing. We want all 225 out. We want GOAT out. We want Prime Minister out. And we want skillful people. We want people with knowledge. People who can handle this country.
Now, protests are continuing to be held in several suburbs of Colombo at present. One of these demonstrations was held in Rajagiriya today. And yet another protest was held, this time near Town Hall. In more protests, the Inter-University Students' Federation organized a protest in Nugegoda today. The protest affected the movement of vehicles along the high-level road in Nugegoda. Protesters were seen marching from the Nugegoda flyover towards Colombo.
Frustrated citizens who are not affiliated to any political party staged protests against the government today as well. The protesters demanded a solution for the ongoing crises and also for the government to resign. A protest was held opposite the clock tower in Kandy against the oppression carried out by the government and the issues faced by the people. The protesters who gathered at the Kandy town blocked one lane along the Dalada Vidya, chanting slogans to remove the corrupt rulers in the country. Thousands of young people were among those who joined the protest. A protest was also held in Gampola calling on the government to resign in the wake of the rising issues faced by the people. Bus drivers and lorry drivers staged a protest near the Kandy High School. People of Anuradhapura were among those protesting as well. Protesters had attacked a vehicle in which State Minister Shehan Semasingha's father had been travelling in at the time. A protest was held against the government by obstructing the Gaul Colombo main road in Hikkadua. This had affected the movement of vehicles along the Gaul road. Residents of Gaul also staged a protest near the main bus stand in the area.
A group called the Voice of Independent Artists gathered at Diathuyana in Bathramula this morning. People who were travelling through the area participated in the protest.
They came into power with the mandate of the people. Similarly, they must step aside respecting the mandate of the people. They are incapable and filled with greed. They are only focused on looting the public money. They can't run a country. We didn't come here on behalf of anyone. The Rajapakshas must step aside. That is what the people are demanding. Therefore, leave just as you came into power.
The people are suffering. They are not expecting an interim government. The president, who can't provide solutions to the prevailing issues, understood the meaning of the slogan "Go Home Gota" yesterday and did what he could. After blocking social media and closing down the country, he understood the situation. I am glad that he understood that. President Gotabaya, please go home. You have no alternative right now. Arresting and causing the disappearances of young people is not what should happen now. Resigning is the only thing that needs to happen. This was the situation at the location when Venerable Bathramulle Siloratna Thero arrived at the location.
Some artists engaged in a protest opposite the president's office this evening.
Artists never take part in protests. However, all of Sri Lanka is protesting with one request. We need to change the system. We have no hatred towards you. You must resign. Just because heads are changed, the system will not change.
The people are burdened heavily. As artists, we are very sensitive to this. We came here regardless of our party politics. We need a good country free of corruption, with an environment conducive to the people and a just society.
This is the country that we have to live. We can't go overseas. We don't have foreign citizenships. I came here to protect the country and also on behalf of the future generations.
We are not just saying Gota go home. All corrupt politicians should go home. The funds that they have looted must be distributed among the poor people. The solution is not to send Gota home, but to send them into prison. They must be in this country so that we can recover whatever they have stolen. This struggle must be carried out in a way that they can't leave the country.
I have 2 children. We took to the streets on behalf of them. The people are being affected badly.
We have had enough. All artists have taken to the streets. Please go home. Hand over the responsibility of running the country to someone capable.
Sri Lankans are organizing protests overseas against the mounting issues faced by the people in the country. Many protests were organized in the US today. A demonstration was held opposite the house of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's son in Los Angeles. The protesters chanted slogans demanding the president to move back to the US. A protest was also organized in Staten Island in New York, where many Sri Lankans are living at present.
Resign today! Resign today!
Sri Lankans also organized a protest in San Francisco today. A protest was organized at the Times Square in New York, demanding a solution to the problems faced by people in Sri Lanka. A demonstration had been organized by Sri Lankans in the US state of Texas as well. Sri Lankans also held a protest opposite the parliamentary complex in Canada's capital of Ottawa. More than 200 Sri Lankans participated in a protest in Toronto opposing the Sri Lankan government. Protests were also held in Edmonton and Vancouver in Canada. A demonstration was held in Australia's city of Melbourne today as well. Sri Lankans also organized a protest in Japan's city of Tokyo. Sri Lankans organized protests in several parts of Italy today. One protest was held in the Italian city of Brescia.
Chief Government Whip Johnston Fernando says the president still holds the people's mandate and that a strange wave of protests can be seen in the country.
The president has received the people's mandate. 6.9 million people have voted for him. So there is no need for him to resign. There is a constitution to be followed. Anyone can ask him to resign. I feel we still have the support and that this is a strange wave of protests. We haven't clashed with the people. We understand that these are difficult times for them. An election must be held to find out the stance of the people. I am not talking about the 6.9 million votes. You asked whether we still have the voter base. How can we calculate the amount of support? Can we count individually? We must hold an election. I feel this has been created by some in the opposition, but there are some people who are genuinely frustrated by the power cuts and the shortage of diesel and gas. They have taken to the streets because of that as well. We must admit that.
Now, in the meantime, police used tear gas to disperse protesters near Carlton House in Tangol and the office of the former Minister Rohita Abegunawardena. Protesters chanted slogans demanding the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the government for failing to resolve the problems of the people. They also demanded for looted funds to be returned to the people and to bring the perpetrators before the law.
A protest was held by obstructing the Katharagava main road near the Carlton House in Tangol today. Barricades were set up around Carlton House, while a heavy presence of police officers were also seen in the area. The police obstructed the brother of the Samagi Janabalavege parliamentarian Dilip Vedarachi from joining the protest. The police set up barricades to prevent the protesters from moving forward. Lawyers were among those who joined the demonstration. The police had initially denied permission for an ambulance transporting a sick patient from passing through the second ring of barricades during the protest. However, the police allowed the ambulance to proceed following requests by the protesters. Police fired tear gas and water cannons at protesters who held the demonstration near the second ring of barricades for several hours. Police and Special Task Force officers had been stationed for security around Carlton House today. A demonstration was launched this afternoon near the office of former Minister Rohitha Begunawardena in Kalutara. Anti-riot squad personnel had been stationed for security around the office. Police fired tear gas to disperse the protesters.
අතදරුවෝ ඉන්න තැන් වලට මු කඳුළු ගෑස් ගාලා කාලා කන්නේ මේ ළමයි අඬන විදිය බලපන් මේ
A protest was held near the residence of former State Minister Nimal Lanka in Negombo last night.
අපි මේ අරංගලේ ගෙනියන්නේ අපිට දින් අඟලක්වත් ඉල්ලගෙන විකුණ ගන්න නෙමෙයි මේ ඉගෙන ගන්න දරුවා වෙනුවෙන් හෙට ඉපදෙන දරුවා වෙනුවෙන් අනාගතේ ඉපදෙන දරුවා වෙනුවෙන් රටක් හදන්නයි 100ක් විතර දාලා ලැජ්ජේ කවුරුත් අනේ කොටා නාට්‍යෝ වද දෙන්නකෝ යන්න ලැජ්ජයි පුඩුසල රකින්න පොලිසිය 100ක් දාලා මෙතෙන්ට මෙතන පක්ෂපාත නැහැ මාත්‍රු මෙතන පක්ෂපාත නැහැ මේ කුඩේම රකින්න එපා කියන්නේ වත්කම් පෙන්නන්න කියන්නේ ඕක කරන්න කියන්නේ මෙච්චර සායේ නෝඩික් කරන්න අපි දැක්ක අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ මේ අපේ දරුවෝ පස්සේ මේක අපේ රට අපේ දරුවෝගේ රට අපේ දරුවෝගේ දුක ඕනම කරක මොනාවේ වයස කරලා ඉතින් කොහොමද මුගේ ගෙවල් අයියෝ අනිත් කරා අහිංසක මිනිස්සු අද රාජාගේ කඳු දෙන්න දරුවන්ට තමබෝස දිනාවේ සමබෝස ලුණු මේකට ලුණු නෑ අපි කාර්යද කියන්නේ.
The protesters dispersed after a few hours. A protest was held at the Tissa Maharama town today. Tensions arose when the police attempted to obstruct protesters who held the demonstration by blocking one lane along the Tissa Maharama Katharagama main road. Barricades were set up at all by-roads leading to the residence of Minister Chamal Rajapaksa after the protest march began. A protest march was launched from the Sanat Jayasuriya grounds in Mathura today. The protesters then held a demonstration near the residence of State Minister Kanchana Wijesekara. Security was tightened around the residence of the State Minister. The protesters dispersed after several hours. Protesters also marched towards the residence of former Minister Ramesh Patirana in Kithulampitiya. Heavy security was deployed to the residence of the former minister. Residents of Dambulla held a protest by obstructing the Jaffna Kandy main road near the economic centre. They marched to the residence of State Minister Janaka Bandara Thenakone in Yapagama. The protesters then held a demonstration opposite the residence of the Dambulla mayor. A protest was held opposite the residence of State Minister Indika Anuruddha in Dewlapitiya yesterday. The State Minister left the area amidst tight security. Security has been tightened near the residence of State Minister Indika Anuruddha. A ritual was held near the residence and office of State Minister Channa Jayasumana in Anuradhapura.
A protest was held in Pune opposite the residence of State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe this evening. Protesters also held a demonstration near the residence of parliamentarian Keheliya Rambukwella in Kandy.
And the protests continued. This time people protested opposite the residence of former Minister Gamani Lokuge in Piliyandala today. And we must now cross over for a short commercial break. Do stay tuned.
Tech Bus, launched to increase the tech know-how of Sri Lankan students, concludes on a successful note. Organized by Slit Institute.
Tech Bus.
Main sponsor.
Slit Knowledge University. Challenging convention and redefining education.
Welcome back to News First. The chief prelates of the three main Buddhist sects have written to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. They have condemned moves to suppress peaceful protests by the people instead of providing them with the relief by addressing the rising cost of living. The chief prelates pointed out that taking such measures without understanding the people's objection is unacceptable.
Students of the Uvavellasa University staged a protest demanding for the resignation of the president and the cabinet. The demonstration was held at the Badulla town despite heavy showers. A protest was staged near the Anuradhapura bus stand this morning. Members of civic groups and the youth had participated in the protest. A protest was organized by the students of the Green University in Homagama against the current administration. Students of the Jaffna University also staged a demonstration against the government today. The demonstration was held opposite the EPDP party office. Students of the Southeastern University also organized the demonstration. A protest was held at the Galaha junction with the participation of lecturers and non-academic staff attached to the Peradeniya University. Doctors, nurses and other employees at the Colombo National Hospital staged a protest during their lunch break today. They demanded solutions to several issues, including the shortage of medicine. The health service is facing a massive crisis. There is no medicine or equipment. Employees don't even have transport facilities. Some hospitals don't have electricity either. The government has failed. Gotabaya has failed. The president, the prime minister and the government must resign. They have proved that they cannot do this. We wish to inform the government to avoid clinging on to their positions. Doctors, nurses and employees of the Kurunagala Teaching Hospital staged a protest demanding the government to resolve the shortage of medicine. There is a shortage of medicine. There is also a shortage of surgical equipment. People who used to obtain treatment in our wards daily are now only obtaining treatment once in every few days.
News First with the people.
We now cross over to a short commercial break.
Tech Bus, launched to increase the tech know-how of Sri Lankan students, concludes on a successful note. Organized by Slit Institute.
Tech Bus.
Main sponsor.
Slit Knowledge University, challenging convention and redefining education.
Welcome back to News First. Lawyers held a protest opposite the Halsdorf Court Complex in Colombo today.
We are not asking the cabinet to resign, we are asking the entire government to resign. The slogan of the protesters is not just Gota go home, they are saying Gota go to jail. Therefore these thieves have looted the people. We can't allow them to escape. The legal community is watching them closely. They can go back to their homes after returning what they stole from us. But we don't feel that they can go back to their homes. They will have to go to jail. Lawyers held a silent protest outside the court complex in Galle as well. The protesters marched to the Galle town and held a demonstration near the Galle bus stand.
The Lawyers for Freedom Collective today stressed that the 20th Amendment to the Constitution must be repealed. There is no point in having a game of musical chairs in Parliament. Therefore, we wish to inform the government parliamentarians, including Vimal Veeravansa, Nimal Lanza, and the others to put forward a proposal to abolish the 20th Amendment to the Constitution. The 19th Amendment says that a foreign citizen or a dual citizen cannot get involved in the administration of a country. Therefore, the 20th Amendment must be abolished. The people are also calling for appointments to be made independent and to preserve judicial independence. These provisions are there only in the 19th Amendment. We ask these parliamentarians to avoid appearing before the media again and again without a proposal to abolish the 20th Amendment. If there are shortcomings in the 19th Amendment, they can be amended, but they have created a demon under the 20th Amendment to the Constitution.
Now, we'd just like to remind you to stay tuned to TV1 as we have a brand new segment of Face the Nation coming up. Now, we would be discussing the current crisis that has engulfed the country and the solutions that can be found to the issues faced at present. Now, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party's 14 parliamentarians have decided to leave the government. SLFP National Organizer Duminda Disanayake said the decision was reached during a meeting of the party's parliamentary group. He said the parliamentarians would send their resignations to the president. In other news, Army Commander General Shavendra Silva has said that the armed forces will always comply with the constitution of the country. He made these comments during a meeting with the defense advisors and attachés of foreign missions at the BMICH in Colombo today. The Army Commander had said that the Army, as a professional outfit, is always prepared to provide security and protection to the state. Now in news overseas, Pakistan's President Arif Alvi says Imran Khan will continue to serve as the Prime Minister of the country.
Pakistan's President Arif Alvi has said Imran Khan will serve as Prime Minister until a caretaker Prime Minister is appointed. Imran Khan is facing calls for his resignation after a no-confidence motion against him was dismissed by Deputy Speaker Qasim Suri. Pakistan is to head in for fresh elections in the next 90 days.
And with that, we wrap up our news tonight on TV1. Thank you for watching.